Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Crime Rewind. My name is Jen Marie, and today I have a co-host, Christopher. He is joining me in doing this video on silly and stupid deaths. I think we've decided to name it, Darwin's exceptions? I was thinking about it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Perhaps it doesn't. I really can't tell you one way or the other.
There's many other videos called Darwin's Awards.
Right, and that was that's the question here is do we go with the flow and just name it Darwin's Award or whatever?
Well, we probably could. No one has a monopoly.
I mean, really? Well, it's probably
Except
copyrighted somewhere.
No, I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know, but we're going to be talking about silly deaths, basically. And I want to say ahead of time that we are in no way making fun of anybody. Well, we're having fun, but we're doing any disrespect to these people who have passed away. We don't mean any disrespect to their families. We don't think death is funny at all. We sympathize with the families of those who have passed. This is just meant to be a lighthearted video. And we're not making fun of these people in particular because some of them, it's not their fault.
Well, in case in point as well, some of the ones that I picked personally, I've actually had experiences that kind of could have gone that way.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of put things that were very
personal. I want to also say that I have a bruise on my face because I fell down my stairs and broke my nose 2 weeks ago. So yes.
Why videos are late this season?
I definitely could have died, but instead I broke my nose and I have a nice
had a wonderful neighbor
black
stop
eye.
by and was actually freaking out.
It
more
was
than
pretty
Jennifer
bad. It was pretty
which
bad.
was amazing.
So yeah, it was pretty bad. But yeah. So and I also want to say that there may be mistakes in this video as far as the cases that we do. I do know some of the cases I have. Some of the facts aren't established or aren't for sure
factual
documented. So there's been kind of different accounts of things. So I'm not saying that any of this is in fact true. I know that these people have the situations basically have happened.
Well,
but there are certain details that maybe could have happened.
I have found a news article and or a picture of every incident. In one
so
case,
I found pictures.
in one case, I even found a video of it happening, which I am not going to put into this.
No,
exactly.
Don't. Ew.
So yeah.
But no, I know. Like I said, it's all happened, but some facts may be different because there's different accounts.
The names and faces have been changed.
Yeah,
in order to
exactly.
protect the innocent.
Not really.
Okay.
Not really.
All right.
Names and faces are the same.
Anyway.
By the way, I'm drinking wine, he's drinking beer.
I think they can see that.
Well, this is a silly, dumb video.
We are being silly and dumb right now. Okay, moving on.
I hope we get worse as it goes along.
Yes. Well, 5 minutes down. Number 1.
Okay, so I'm going to start off. My first case. You can't see. My first case is that of the Station nightclub fire. And this one is pretty crazy. It was through it was. There's somebody always at fault, right?
There really is someone always.
I was about to say it's
usually
not the man's
there
fault,
is.
but kind of, sort of.
Usually there is.
Everybody's fault involved. Anyways, okay. So on the night of February 20th, 2003, so this wasn't that long ago, the rock band Great White Do you know any songs that they played?
Oh no, but I know.
I know I've heard of them, but
I now know the one. I know what you're about to say. I know what you're talking about now, though.
You know what? Okay.
I know this case. Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
So the rock band Great White, I should have looked up what they played. My bad. But
they played a lot of beach songs.
Really? About Jaws? That's
I mean,
hilarious. I don't think they did. Okay, Great White was playing a show at the Station nightclub in West Warwick, Rhode Island. Apparently, just seconds into their opening song, a fire started when a pyrotechnics display ignited flammable foam on the walls of the stage. Now, the stage manager was the one who had put these techno fireworks up.
Pyrotechnics.
So I don't think the band necessarily knew that.
No, that's
like,
a mistake on multiple different
levels. But
levels.
this was a tiny club. Like, it was small. Like, as far as like square footage. I mean, it was small.
And the corners are obviously being cut here as well.
Oh my
so
God!
there's
Just wait. Okay. So apparently this foam, and you all probably know what kind of foam I'm talking about, but it's polyurethane foam. Right?
Spraying foam.
Yeah, that you put for like soundproofing and things like
sealant or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Apparently this foam, once caught on fire, instantly develops black smoke along with deadly carbon monoxide and hydrogen cyanide.
It's highly toxic.
Don't interrupt me. Hydrogen cyanide gas. Okay. Oh, by the way, he graduated from Georgia Tech, so he thinks he knows everything. Anyways. Okay. Buckeyes fan, by the way. Okay. Taking only 2 to 3 breaths of this smoke would cause rapid loss of consciousness and then death by internal suffocation. Sounds like fun. I don't think that's what the partygoers were.
I'm not sure if that's the correct term.
That's not the kind of high they wanted.
No.
Go see this band. But apparently 20 seconds after the pyrotechnics ended, the band stopped playing. 20 seconds after, okay, the band stopped playing. The lead singer of Great White, Jack Russell, calmly remarked in the microphone, "Wow, that's not good."
Yeah, no, that would not be. I mean, and this is one of those cases like some of mine where you look at it and you're like all these things could have been easily avoided.
I mean,
there's
it sounds
nothing
like very
that really
chill. Like they just rocked on, man. After the
I don't know.
And I mean, apparently from what I read, the guests, the people there did not think, they thought it was all part of the show at first. So in less than a minute though, the entire stage was engulfed in flames. And although there were four possible exits, most people headed for the front door through which they'd entered, of course. The ensuing,
that makes sense.
Well, then I think the stage exit, there were bodyguards that were blocking that because they're like, it's for the band only, so they wouldn't let people through that way. And then and plus how would people know about the other exits? They wouldn't know.
Well, no, they wouldn't, and that's the thing. You know, when you're designing a building.
I mean, this was an old building. It was so not up to code.
Modern buildings are designed so that it's very clear how to move people in and out of them in an emergency situation.
Yeah.
And in this case, when you're having an old building, people are going to naturally go to what they're familiar with.
Yeah,
and so
the exit or the entrance they came in. So the ensuing stampede led to people being crushed in the narrow hallway leading to the front exit.
That makes sense.
A total of 462 people were in attendance, even though the club's official license capacity was 404.
It's pretty standard though. Having someone populate their venue is not.
I mean, the whole thing combined just led to
It's a nightmare.
I keep wanting to cuss.
It's a nightmare. No.
This is a nightmare.
This is what happens when people don't think about it.
I mean, all this shit combined. So okay.
You just cuss.
I know I did, but I keep wanting to say the F word. So.
I mean, tone it down a bit.
I didn't say the F word.
I mean, you gotta build up to that. You gotta build up to that, right?
Right. The more I drink.
Right. Yeah, very true. Keep going.
Okay, so in this fire, listen to this: 100 people were killed. 100 people.
Yeah, I don't
100.
doubt that at all.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say that's not true. Yes,
no,
it is. It's very well documented.
I don't doubt that. Honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't more.
100 people were killed, and at least half of the survivors were injured, either from burns, smoke inhalation, or trampling.
Yeah.
Okay, among those who died in the fire were Great White's lead guitarist, Ty Longley, and the show's MC, DJ Mike the Doctor Gonsalves. I apologize. Refer to the disclaimer at the beginning.
I only know German.
Longley is, Longley is believed to have initially made it out of the building, but then re-entered in an attempt to rescue his guitar.
Well, that's his own.
Right? That's a rock star right there.
Well,
My baby. So the lead guitarist died, the DJ died, and 98 other people died.
I'm honestly surprised there weren't more, and I imagine
there was a big court battle. There was a big court case, after, obviously. And the messed up thing is that the guy, the band's manager or whatever, the guy who set up the pyrotechnics display, he immediately pled guilty. It was he was very apologetic. He immediately pled guilty, paid out the money, to all the families. And the guys that own the club were like, we're not guilty, we're not paying shit.
Who'd have thunk an honest band manager?
So I know, right? Apparently he felt really, really bad.
Well, see, and that's another one of those things where it kind of leads into my first one.
We're not done yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I do have a trivia question.
Trivia.
Because I love trivia. Trivia question. Okay, and you guys see at home if you can guess the correct one as well. I'm not going to give you much time though to answer. Okay, trivia question. Which popular TV show filmed an episode that was based upon this tragic incident? A, CSI, B, NCIS, C, 90210, or D, NYPD Blue?
As silly as it is to have a crime drama based around this type of a thing, it's got to be 90210.
Serious?
Yeah, because I could totally see them stuck in this movie theater.
You know what 90210 is about, right?
Yes, it's about these yuppies from Beverly Hills. Not yuppies, but I mean, they're about these stuck-up teenagers from Beverly Hills.
Okay, well, you're wrong.
It's amazing.
You're wrong. Totally wrong.
What?
That was actually, in each of these trivia questions, I put one in that's obviously bullshit. And that was my obviously bullshit one.
Why is that one wrong? No.
Because it's 90210.
Alright,
what the hell?
Moving on.
Okay, don't you want to know the answer?
Yes.
Okay, it's A, CSI. CSI Miami actually did an episode directly based from this. I know it's on one of those. But CSI Miami, because there's 4 different ones. There's CSI.
Oh my!
There's CSI New York.
With the ginger.
There's CSI Vegas. Then CSI Miami. Yeah, David Caruso.
Ooh.
Where he's with the sunglasses, and he's like, I think, we have a crime.
There's some pretty awesome drinking games based solely.
No,
on
I know.
Okay.
I loved it. Everybody makes.
All right. Well, like we said, okay. So this case definitely kind of
first
morphs into my first one, which is also architecturally based. So my first incident that I want to talk about is actually a man named Gary Hoy. He was actually a lawyer from Holden Day and Wilson. It was a law firm in Toronto. On July the 9th in 1993, he actually was taking a group of law students around the law firm to show them just the ins and outs of the everyday of the business, and he was explaining to them what their caseloads would be while they were doing their internships all in the for his firm. And somehow the conversation evolved into safety issues, and apparently this law firm had dealt in safety issues, and he proceeded to show them that the safety of the windows of this high-rise building were so impeccable that he could slam his body into the windows and nothing would happen. And so he got a running start. He impacted the window gave way, as it obviously was going to, and he fell several stories to his death.
Wow. How many stories?
I believe the article that I read was in the, where was it?
You don't know how many stories?
He fell, he was on the 24th floor.
24 stories?
Yeah.
Jesus.
He was on the 24th floor.
That would not look good on the ground.
I actually do remember.
I wonder if he survived.
I do. Luckily, no. Luckily, his watch.
Sorry, but that's.
Luckily, his watch survived. No. And actually, this case, when all the lawsuits over this incident were actually finally finalized.
So explain what happened in the window. What was wrong with the window?
Well, I'm going to get to that. I just want to say,
okay.
This incident actually put his law firm out of business when it was all done. When all the litigation was over, They were sued into non-existence, which is crazy.
Yeah. Wait, who would sue? Who would sue them?
What?
Who?
Well, his families.
Okay,
families
but he's the dumbass that jumped up and slammed into the window.
It's Canada. I don't know Canada law. Whatever.
I mean, I'm just saying. Like, what is there? Was there a case there?
Haven't you ever been to
Was
Toronto?
there a case there? No, I've never been out of the country. What? How is there?
Toronto's like a whole other world. It's so just across the border.
You still have to have a passport. You know.
Sure enough. Anyway, yeah. So what had happened was of course he was trying to. What had happened was, and actually, not to toot my own horn, I actually have heard about this case. The issue was of course that he was trying to show them how this glass was going to survive the impact, and how it was completely safe because it was shatterproof glass and it had so many panes or whatever. He was trying to show them that it would give and bow with his weight. Well, yes, that's true, but it's also not meant to take impacts from the inside going out. Shatterproof glass is meant to take impacts from the outside in, and all the bushings around the windows are meant to keep force.
What about in the case of an earthquake?
Well, it's meant to give and bow, which is what he was talking about.
Yeah, which it did. It popped right out of the frame, didn't it? I thought.
Well, yes. I mean, it's
because
supposed
it didn't
to
shatter.
Well, in fact, it actually, because it does give and bow enough to like not to shatter in an earthquake, that's probably what helped it pop out of its bushings a lot more, because without it actually being in the article, what would happen is if you impacted it, and the window would go from a flat plane to bowing out, and therefore it would come out of its edges of the bushings, and then he would fall out of the, which is exactly what happened. If it went the other way and it bowed inside, it wouldn't have enough room to flex, and it would just be fine.
Oh my God.
What?
How you managed to make it so not fun?
That is fun. It worked.
What science is not fun?
It worked. It worked exactly how it was supposed to.
Bonehead Award to Gary
Hoy, poor man.
Yes.
He not only did his tragedy impact himself
but
and his family, but the whole company, and a lot of poor lawyers.
Let that be a lesson. Let that be a lesson to other boneheads.
Right.
Please don't do that. That's
okay.
Not smart.
You don't put your body in jeopardy to test the
That's just not
fallibility
smart.
of a thing.
At least have a harness or a what do you call it? A parachute pad.
This car is so safe, it'll survive a 30-mile-an-hour crash. I'm going to get into it and crash it just to prove that to you.
Well, there's dummies for that.
There was in this case as well. All right, moving on.
Moving on. Okay, my turn. It's my turn.
Indeed.
Okay, my next one is called the Great Boston Molasses Flood. And I had heard something similar. I had heard about this case. I had read about it before, but I didn't really know too much about it. This happened quite a long time ago. On January 15th, 1919, so quite a long time ago, in the north end neighborhood of Boston, Massachusetts, a large storage tank filled with 2.3 million gallons of molasses, which weighed 13,000 tons, burst, causing a wave to crash through the streets at an estimated 35 miles an hour. The tank was it doesn't sound fast, and when you think of it as far as like being in a car and going so many miles per hour, it's
no. Wait, why are you trying to?
What are you checking me out for? Because that's how this shirt's supposed to go. I'm not a girly girl, okay? I don't know how things work. No.
That's true. I can attest to that. Moving on.
Yeah, and when it has to do with a car, 35 does not sound fast, but when it comes to molasses, which molasses is a slow moving thing, right? So 35 miles an hour, that molasses is moving fast.
No, that's really fast.
That's really fast.
Like, I'm almost wondering how that actually happened, because
there was a lot. 13,000 tons, 2.3 million gallons. 2.3 million gallons.
I'm just thinking about like how big those storage tanks were.
Huge.
I mean,
huge.
Clearly.
Okay, so the tank was situated at the Purity Distilling Company. Now, the Purity Distilling Company, they took the molasses and they fermented it to produce ethanol. And Purity used the harborside tank to offload molasses from the ships that came to the harbor, and then they stored it until transferred by pipeline to the Purity ethanol plant. So they made ethanol from this molasses, basically. Right. So around 12:30 on the 15th, some witnesses described that they felt the ground shake and then heard a loud rumble similar to that of a passing train. Others reported tremendous crashing, a deep growling, and a thunderclap-like bang as the tank collapsed. Yeah, that sounds pretty scary. The 25-foot wave. 25 feet. 25-foot wave. Do you not believe that?
No, I'm just thinking that like this sounds like something out of Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
Like seriously, I can't even imagine. Like this is some crazy crap. Crazy molasses.
Those darn sardines.
25-foot wave was of sufficient enough force to pick up a truck and hurl it into the harbor. Nearby buildings were swept off their foundations and crushed as the city blocks flooded to a depth of 2 to 3 feet. 2 to 3 feet. That's crazy. Because, in Boston, they have basements and shit. So, all the basements are flooded. Out here, we don't have basements.
Yeah, Cheers would have definitely been flooded.
Listen, about 150 people were injured. 21 people, including men, women, and children, were killed, and countless horses and dogs perished.
Don't forget the horses and dogs.
Well, back then, it was all horses. It was horses.
I know.
Lots of horses. Horses. Some were drowned in the molasses. Others were crushed by the debris that it carried. And apparently, the rescue efforts were very it was very difficult because obviously molasses. I mean, once molasses hits the air and it's cool air. I mean, the air wasn't. What was it? Yeah, January. So like January, it was cold. So immediately when the molasses hits that air, it's going to start crystallizing and going to start toughening up and thickening up. So like, imagine the rescue people that had to come and try to help them. They couldn't hardly get through the molasses. I mean, it would bog them down. Like they couldn't. I mean, I read that like they were trying to get paddle boats, and they couldn't. They couldn't walk through it either. I mean, it was horrible.
Yeah, there's so many issues with that.
It took them so long to clean it up. It took them months and months and months. And that they say that the rumor is that the right there, that town smells like molasses to this day.
That I don't believe.
You don't believe? I know I don't believe that either.
I can smell something from that story. It's not molasses.
Well, yeah. So I mean, that's some crazy crap. That's some crazy crap right there. But apparently the tank hadn't been checked to make sure it was up to code either. So like of course.
Didn't this happen in like
1905?
1919. Okay, so yeah, what code there might have been.
I mean, they're like, hey, it works, right?
Basically, no.
It's still doing its job, eh? Why
are there Mexicans in Boston in 1909?
Or Wisconsin.
All right, or Wisconsin. Excuse me, I don't know where Boston. Anyway, so
Well, how would you say that? It threw the truck in the yard.
Nantucket? What? Barely?
I can't do accents.
Are you trying to be Roy Schneider again?
Shh. No. Okay, hush. Trivia question. Okay. Once again, play along. Which one of these modern products do not use any ethyl alcohol in the making or manufacturing of the product? A, mustard. B, Robitussin PE cough syrup. C, Pam cooking spray. Or D, vanilla extract.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Yes, it is. I'm excellent at trivia.
Well, okay, sorry.
Which one do you think?
My computer just honestly, I think it's a trick question. Like
they're all trick questions.
I would have gone for Pam to start with, but then like the one that should be the obvious choice, the Robitussin, is probably the correct answer since you're trying to.
So what's your answer?
Fine, Robitussin.
That is correct.
Okay.
Ding ding ding. That is the product with no ethyl alcohol in it. Is the Robitussin PE cough syrup. Imagine that. So don't go around chugging Robitussin thinking you're gonna get high.
Well, it will get you, but it's not because of the alcohol.
But won't get drunk because there's no alcohol in it.
No, but it will make you high.
Yes, so mustard has alcohol. Mustard.
I knew that.
Okay, Pam cookie spray has alcohol. Vanilla extract by law has to have 35% alcohol in it.
Yeah,
What?
There's something to do with the way that it's manufactured.
So if you if you put a lot of vanilla extract, you might get drunk.
There's something about the way that it's manufactured.
No, by law, to be considered actual vanilla extract has to have 35% alcohol content.
Okay. Anyway, well, we're going to move back to New York. This incident actually occurred when on a tour, on a helicopter tour. Now, unfortunately, 5 individuals passed away when they rented a open door.
They were killed. Don't say passed away. That sounds like they died in their sleep.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Well, apparently this happened in March 26th. This was 2018 when they were taking this.
So that wasn't too long ago.
It really wasn't. So this was happening.
Sorry to anybody who's watching that knows them. That was not too long ago.
Right. Well, I mean, I have their names. I'm gonna not.
Please
spell their
don't
names. Yeah.
say their names.
So. They rented this tour, to take selfies over the skyline.
Selfies.
All the doors are taken off of this helicopter, and everyone, of course, is pre-harnessed into their seats. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently, what had happened was because this helicopter tour, there was the pilot, the one passenger in the co-pilot's chair, and then there were 4 other passengers in the back, staggered, so that they can all see out.
That's a big helicopter.
I actually have a picture of it. I'll put it in there's actually a picture of them getting. I found a picture of them actually getting on the helicopter, which is pretty creepy.
As long as it's not crashed.
Well, no, because they recovered all the cameras. What had happened? So the pilot harnessed all these individuals into their seats, basically, and got them up in the air. Made sure he went over the safety checks. This is where your harness release is. This is where your emergency knife is. If we have, so that you cut your harness straps if you have to.
Emergency machete.
I mean, basically, yeah. And they all had them. They all had flotation devices. They all had emergency.
And they weren't landing anywhere. They're just flying around taking pictures.
This is just general safety, flying around on this helicopter tour to take pictures. Well, during the flight, the person who was in the passenger seat next to the pilot decided that
press the red button.
Basically, yes. He got up from his seat to go out to the door to take pictures, and when he did, his strap that had kept connected to his harness, to his chair, or to his seat, accidentally flipped the fuel cutoff switch to the helicopter. And this is what they
should turn it back on?
Well, the pilot didn't
know?
Didn't understand what was happening.
Can he look at all the buttons and be like, oh, that's not right?
He was going through his emergency procedures. He didn't realize that the emergency flap down here had been shut off.
So when basically the stewardess says, stay seated,
there's a reason for that. And so the pilot actually was able to auto-rotate the helicopter and land it in the Hudson River. And it landed
like that pilot!
Yeah, just because you shut off the fuel doesn't mean the blades are going to stop rotating.
He was able to land
it.
If it's on this list, then obviously it didn't end well.
He actually deployed all the flotation devices for the helicopter. Something malfunctioned in one, so the helicopter flipped over in the Hudson River, flipped over onto its side. He was able to climb out. All of his passengers died.
All the passengers.
All the passengers.
The co-pilot?
Well, he was a passenger, but yeah, he was riding in the.
So he survived. The dumbass that flipped the switch.
No, he died.
Oh, he died.
All the people, all the passengers, all the
died.
paid passengers
to
the tour
pilot didn't do anything.
He
wrong.
No, he got out. He was eventually prosecuted as well, I think.
Why? For what?
They tried to.
Not doing a checklist of.
They tried to claim that he was negligent. He was.
Well, if you don't do it, if something malfunctioned, then.
I can go back and look at this. It was from the New York Times. I think he was exonerated eventually. And
because
he had an impeccable flight record. He had been with this company for a long time. He had a lot of.
I bet he's never gonna fly again.
No, he's still flying. He has a lot of character
witness.
Oh no, for this company.
Really?
Character witnesses that were like, no, this guy.
I think I would check up on that before I.
He had character witnesses that were like, no, he knew what he was talking about. He went through all these things. And
but I bet they changed their rules.
No, they were supposedly, yes, that is true. Supposedly now.
No getting up and walking around.
No, they changed the rule. There's supposedly now no longer any open door flights or tours available in New York City.
How about you don't have anybody sitting up front besides the pilot? It's not a bad idea.
But according to the website for this company, apparently they still sell.
Still sell what?
Open door tours. So, who knows?
What's the name of the company?
I'm not going to get sued, thank you.
I don't know the name of the company. People out there might want to know.
We can talk about it later.
You might want to know.
We can talk about it later. I found.
Do your homework when you want to take a helicopter tour in New York.
Oh, and I said Hudson. Excuse me, East River. So it was where it crashed. So.
Not the Hudson. Not the Hudson.
East River.
Really? Huh. Because I said the pilot about crashing in the Hudson.
Yeah, I was so eager to agree with you that I mean,
whatever.
That's the only way you can get anywhere with Jennifer here.
My name is not Jennifer. It's Jen Marie. Okay, well, my next one is if anyone reads ever should have heard this name. Okay, his name is Alan Pinkerton, and I know that people have heard this name. They might not recognize it or realize where exactly it's from, and I'm about to tell you. Alan Pinkerton. He was a Scottish American detective and spy. Did you know he was a spy?
Mm-hmm.
He was a spy.
One of my favorite conspiracy theorists. His name is Walter Bosley. Has all these crazy theories about him.
Right? Yeah, like Alan Pinkerton. Okay, he's best known for creating the Pinkerton National Detective Agency. He was born in Glasgow, Scotland, on August 25th, 1819, but emigrated to the United States in 1842. He settled in the small town of Dundee, Illinois, which was 50 miles north of Chicago. Very quickly, he got involved in the abolitionist movement. Yes, he was part of the abolitionist movement, and his home became a stop. On the Underground Railroad. Did you know that?
I did not know that. No.
Yeah. After stumbling across a band of counterfeiters and informing the local sheriff, he then got interested in law enforcement, and that's how he
just fell right into that job.
No, listen, he falls into everything. Listen how. Listen, I mean, this dude was like, he just got tossed opportunities left and right. Listen. This led to Pinkerton being appointed in 1849 as the first police detective in Chicago. Okay? In 1850, he formed an independent agency called Northwestern Police Agency, which later became Pinkerton and Company, and finally Pinkerton National Detective Agency. This agency still exists today.
Yes, I know that.
Still exists today under the name Pinkerton Consulting and Investigations. Still exists today.
Yeah,
okay.
It still has a lot of
it's famous
right now, actually.
Yeah, really.
Surprisingly enough.
When the Civil War began, Pinkerton served as head of the Union Intelligence Service. Union Intelligence Service, heading off an assassination attempt on Abraham Lincoln while guarding him on his way to Washington, D.C. to be inaugurated. Yep, did you already know that? You knew that, okay. As president, obviously. His work led to the establishment of the Federal Secret Service. Following the war, when the war was over, okay, he was hired by railroad companies to pursue train robbers. Doesn't that sound fun? That sounds fun, right? Not so fun for him.
How he got involved with Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid. Now I'm going to insert a trivia question because he just ruined it. Okay, and actually, no, I'm not going to say it. Trivia question. Fine.
Trivia question.
How did the man die?
No, I'm going to put it right here. It's more. I'm inserting a trivia question. What famous Wild West outlaw was Alan Pinkerton hired to track and capture? Okay. A, Billy the Kid. B, Butch Cassidy. C, Jesse James. Or D, Dirty Harry.
Butch Cassidy.
Wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong.
Well, that was a part of the whole
Nope, Jesse James. Jesse James. Jesse James. You were wrong.
Well, he was hired
No, he wasn't.
a lot of people.
No, he wasn't. He was hired to pursue train robbers, but Jesse James is the one that he was his arch nemesis. Was hired to track him and capture him. He, however, failed. He failed to capture Jesse James and eventually abandoned the chase. And this is considered to be his biggest defeat. Was Jesse James?
Now that I was not aware of. Okay.
Yep.
Well done.
It led to he just gave up on life and retired, pretty much. Yep. Because he was old by then. I mean, come on. He was super old. Okay. Where he dies, impatient, on July 1st, 1884. So, I mean, this took place a long time ago. So, when they had trains and Wild West and pretty cool stuff like Dirty Harry. On July 1st, 1884, Alan Pinkerton died in Chicago from gangrene. Do you want to know how? A week or so before he died, he actually slipped and fell on the sidewalk and bit his tongue. Wet pavement, bit in his tongue, okay, resulting in gangrene and then his death. It took a week.
So his tongue was infected.
He fell on the sidewalk, which was wet, and then he bit his tongue, and then apparently didn't go to the doctor.
Well, I mean, what good would that have done in 1884?
What? They could have given him a shot at antibiotics.
1884?
Yeah. When was penicillin invented? I don't know. Do you know the year? The
No,
penicillin. Don't you dare Google it. I swear to God. Don't you dare. Stop Googling. Stop Googling. No.
1928.
Listen. I'm sure. I mean, what they're just like, oh, bad luck. Like, don't hurt yourself. I mean,
Basically, yeah.
seriously?
Mm-hmm.
They could have cut his tongue off.
Well, the issue is that gangrene is a very specific
How bad
thing.
did he bite his tongue? Like,
well, what?
did he have his tongue
dirty was
sticking out? Did he have his tongue sticking out of his mouth? Like,
What was he doing
like,
with his mouth that got
He was
gangrene?
licking the sidewalk. He had it sticking
mean,
out. If you're gonna bite your
gross.
tongue, like, you had to bite it. He had to bite it, bitten it far back, which means he had his tongue out his mouth, like.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Then you'd be
questions
licking
I have
the
about
sidewalk. And plus, back then there was horses, so horse poo.
this. Yeah,
Horse
that's
poo
probably
everywhere.
that's true.
Horse poo
That's
everywhere.
probably what it
And
was. There
yeah.
was something on the
Horse poo.
sidewalk. 'Cause
He
you're
didn't
like-
go home and use some scope.
I mean, because a
something.
human mouth is a very dirty place,
Well,
just in
yeah.
general. But you shouldn't get gangrene.
He got gangrene in his mouth.
Yeah,
Gangrene in
that's
his
a
mouth.
that's a very that's still a very odd thing. To,
It is odd.
Yeah, exactly.
So he died a week later. That's pretty quick too for gangrene.
Yeah, it is. Like
Yeah.
it makes me want to think that
Look,
maybe he
I
had
already
something
said
else
that I
going
didn't know
on.
how true all this was.
There's got to be something else that was going on with that. Like he was already
Maybe it's
dying or
herpes.
something. Maybe, yeah.
Who knows?
Advanced case of
Mouth,
the,
herpes of mouth. I don't know. Anyways, this is
Yeah.
interesting. At the time of his
Gross.
passing, he was working on a system to centralize all criminal identification records, a database that is now used and maintained by the FBI, which is called CODIS. I know this for a fact. Called CODIS, and Pinkerton is the one who came up with it.
Yeah, there's a long and storied history with Pinkerton, and as far as the United States government is concerned, they're actually in the news to this day, dealing with a lot of.
I can't believe it's still
probes.
around.
I have a 60-year-old man from Tucson, unfortunately, who passed away.
Quit saying passed away. Did he die peacefully?
He kicked the bucket.
He tragically.
He tragically switched.
Died.
He tragically switched hobbies, and that hobby led to his death. Unfortunately, this individual.
Switch hobbies.
Yes, indeed, it was actually a drag race enthusiast
Nice.
who, he was a gearhead. Had a great time at the drag race. Starting to get older.
Those don't end up well.
He was.
Rest in peace, Paul. Paul
Well, I mean, there's a
Walker.
lot of forces involved. You know, popping a blood vessel in your head. I mean, well, from the G
For
forces.
racing?
From G forces, from accelerating
That's
that fast.
flying.
You understand that how much like the acceleration of a drag racer like pushes you back. It's
Well,
a lot
that's
of
because you're
force.
not driving correctly.
Well, at any rate, so the man was actually did a lot of drag racing around in Pima County in Arizona.
Oh yeah,
And
the
so-
desert.
And he was
That's a good place to race.
well, he was getting up there in age. He was getting on about 60. He was actually 60. He was actually 60 when he died. And next to the drag strip where he would always race, there was a club that would meet that flew radio-controlled airplanes. And so he was like, you know what? I'm a gearhead. I can
I bet
build.
this was on one of the salt planes.
I can.
Probably a salt plane.
I mean, you know, it's I can look it up in the map, but yeah, I don't.
I used
think
to
it's-
live out, well, not in Arizona, but
No, I
California.
was gonna say like no.
California?
Okay.
Almost.
Well,
Arizona.
so he decided to take up model
Alright.
airplanes and building, engines for his club and doing model
Okay, so we
radio
switched
control.
hobbies from drag racing to model airplanes.
Right. Well, I mean, still
But
is it?
not the model airplanes that are this big, but like
No,
the
like
giant that
actual
fly.
like radio control.
Okay, yeah,
mechanical
that is,
model
I've heard that is
airplanes.
a very like
It's
that's
very.
a very like hardcore club. Like they're very
Well,
dedicated.
A, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
B, you're dealing with the same sorts of like engineering problems. You're building engines. You're
Right.
building. So No, it's a huge engineering problem. You're constructing the motors, you're constructing the actual fuselages of the aircraft that you're putting up there, making sure that they're light enough to, for these little tiny motors that you're being hand built.
You're right.
It's huge. There's actually, if you get into the forums and you start reading, people are actually building jet engines for these things now, and on top of like actual piston engines. I mean, it's amazing what these guys are able to miniaturize and actually put out there.
So what happened?
Okay, excuse me. So yeah, no, he got interested in that. Building engines translates, cars. Okay. So one day, it was early in the morning. He was flying his plane in amongst the other aircraft, and apparently one of his friends from the group, a gentleman named Nebel, said that he was having a good time. He was laughing, and somebody distracted him, and he turned his head away from his aircraft as he was bringing it down to land. And then when he finished speaking to that individual and turned back, the aircraft was actually flying directly at him, and it hit him square in the chest.
With how much force?
A lot. I mean, the aircraft was flying pretty much full steam, hit him in the chest. It penetrated into his sternum and died.
So impaled by
his aircraft.
His own airplane.
It was
That's
quite a gruesome idea. I mean, because it's one of those
propeller.
Because it's one of those things where that is one of the. You will never hear of anyone dying at such an innocuous sport like that, where that's. I mean, it's just not
being impaled by your own plane.
Well, I mean, it's such a freak accident that it's one of those things where.
Well, I mean, I bet the guy who distracted him feels shitty.
Oh, right. We're like, hey man.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Great job. That flight looks.
Are you okay, dude?
Dude, where's your plane, dude? Dude, where's your plane?
Dude, I don't know.
And then. So,
what does mine say?
So that was an unfortunate, but I mean, as you can see, like mine are all like engineering problems. Like this one's one of those things where, he, I can't even imagine the force, because if the plane was flying at.
I mean, it depended on how much it weighed, how fast it was going, how the.
No, I mean there could be significant amount of force.
X equals MC squared.
No, F equals ma.
Whatever.
Force equals mass times acceleration.
Oh my god. Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
And that's the simplified version.
Really?
So there could be. Well, yeah, really.
This is the one who asked me how to spell basic words.
That wasn't a requirement in my school.
Okay. So my next one actually took place here in Atlanta. Not too long ago, actually. 2011. So. This lady's name was Lashana Threat, and on the evening of May 27th, 2011, she was an aspiring model, Lashana.
Oh, I remember this! Model.
She was out with her father and friends, having dinner at Atlantic Station to celebrate her 30th birthday. And when dinner wrapped up around midnight, Lashana, her fiance, and around 15 of her friends all headed to the W Hotel in Midtown Atlanta to continue the party. They hung out at the hotel bar / club until around 2:30, and then the couple decided to call it a night. They actually had a room there. They had a room at the hotel. They decided to head up to the room. 5 of their friends apparently went along with them.
Hey, it's
not all the friends. 5 of the friends.
Wow, I mean, only just
around 2:30.
Only so much you can.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so 5 of their friends went up to the room with them, which was on the 10th, I believe, the 10th floor. 10th floor. Around 3:15 a.m., the friends decided they all wanted to leave. They all left, because a couple probably wanted to do some things.
No, tell us more about this.
In the hotel room. I mean, 3:15 a.m. 3:15. They, plus it's just polite. Like, time to dip out. Time to go. Time to go.
Well, maybe they
gotta get out.
Maybe they thought they were being invited.
Oh my goodness. Woo. Okay. Well, didn't say anything about that from what I read. Didn't talk about anything like that.
No, it's not something.
So 3:15 a.m. the friends were all telling Lashana goodbye, and they were all giving her hugs. Saying happy birthday, whatnot. Lashana was leaning against one of the floor-to-ceiling glass windows in the room when her friend Sierra Williams leaned in to give her a hug. Unfortunately, the glass shattered and both women, quote, flew out of the window. Flew out of the window. Both Lashana and Sierra fell 5 stories and landed on the roof of a sunroom connected to the hotel. Lashana remained on the sunroom roof while Williams rolled off and landed on the sidewalk below. Threat did not survive. Williams did, however. Williams survived. She survived. But you gotta imagine, like, Threat was, her back was to the window, so Threat would have taken the brunt of the,
Yeah.
if she fell on top of her, Williams fell on top of her, so Threat, fell, was the one to impact, and then Williams was on top of her. Williams then rolled off onto the sidewalk and survived with major injuries, obviously. Like, she had, everything was broken, and like, I mean, major injuries. But, Williams survived, Lashana did not. The Atlanta PD says it was a tragic accident. Lashana had a then 15-year-old daughter at the time.
I mean, I can't even imagine how that would have even...
I mean, it's just a freak thing.
Well, here's the thing. Is obviously they pushed on the window. There's no way.
Yeah, they were leaning. It says they were leaning against the window, and it was floor to ceiling windows. But I mean, that still shouldn't happen. Sorry. I mean, how many times? I mean, I've stayed in hotel rooms that had windows like that and leaned against them and like.
Yeah, not if they were.
I mean, just temporary. I mean,
clearly there was some horseplay involved in that. And
it says that now. The article, everything I read about this, literally points out. They try to point out the fact that there's no horseplay. I mean, they said that all that, no one was, they claim, now this is what the fiance claims and the friends, says that no one was drunk.
No,
no one was, they say no one was drunk, there was no horseplay involved, that they were all but just saying goodnight and giving her a hug.
We stayed at the bar all night because
they said no one was fighting, it wasn't like, there was no animosity, it wasn't like malicious or anything, they were just saying goodbye for the night.
I only drink cranberry and tonic.
I mean, Hennessy, Alizé, only ones that end in A.
I've known women all name those things.
Oh my God.
So, and they're very nice.
Trivia question. Trivia question. What does the W in the W Hotel stand for?
Weston.
A, worldwide. B, George W. Bush. C, whatever, whenever. Or D, it doesn't stand for anything.
Yeah, no, I don't think it actually stands for anything.
So your choice is D?
Yes.
You are correct. Doesn't stand for anything. However, when the owner of this hotel went to his wife, him and his wife were discussing it, and they were talking about it, and they were trying to come up with a name for it, and the wife apparently said every adjective that she could come up with for this hotel all started with apparently the letter W. So that's why, like,
why?
I don't know, but
whimsical.
Yes. Actually, listen. The staff is encouraged to exude a whimsical demeanor and to wow guests. That is their motto.
I'm sorry, that
is their motto.
That is some marketing
like the pool is called the wet bar. And like there's other things like the bathrooms are called something that starts with a W, and like everything that's all starts with a W, and like literally staff, I have it written down, staff is encouraged to exude a whimsical demeanor and to wow guests.
This is straight from like a playbook for like a corporate marketing team sat down and what is our image? But we don't want to have an image.
I've never questioned that before, actually.
We don't want to have an image.
Because the W Hotel is literally not far from here, and I've never questioned what the heck that stood for.
Yeah, no. I knew it didn't mean anything. I just didn't think that it like.
I mean, I assumed it meant something, but I didn't know. I
didn't know that they made it into a theme of a non. They made a non-theme into a theme.
Apparently, it's marketed towards the towards younger guests, like young 20-somethings and 30-somethings, and it's supposedly like the reviews that I've read for this hotel. There's a hotel. There's a travel blogger or this dude that did a whole article on this hotel, and he says he's just too old for it now because everything is like dark. You know, no lighting. I mean, everything's just like neon and just, I mean, just everything you would love when you're young. And now, like in my 40s, I'm just like, ugh. Like
No, it's designed. It was
That just
designed
makes me-
with a
that makes me
very
tired.
it was not designed with a timeless look. We'll say it
Yeah,
that way.
no.
It's very early.
I mean, they're gonna
early
have to renovate.
millennials
They're gonna have to renovate
shift
sometime
kind
in
of
the future.
decor. Like you're talking like
Yeah, I've never stayed there.
early mid noughts in
Yeah.
the decor, like something that was looked hip and cool in like 2000 to 2005.
Yeah, but I
Which
mean,
is-
apparently there's no lighting. Like
Well, no, it's
Like,
not
it's
that bad.
all dark
It's
and
not that
neon
bad
and, like-
anymore, but it's not.
the like club music and like
We couldn't take grandmother there and have her be
right.
if that makes any sense to anyone.
Yeah,
All right, well I'm gonna move on to someone from your home state.
Ohio.
Go Buckeyes!
Go Bucks.
Okay, so I mean, he has an Ohio name. Let me see if I can say this correctly, and because I'm going to say this because
Is it Amish?
I have no idea. Because he died, and this is the one from many years ago, in the long ago, in 1871, when Clement Layard Vallandigham was
Vallandigham. That's foreign.
Clement Layard Vallandigham.
It sounds like Swedish or Norwegian or something.
I wouldn't. Yeah, it's a weird.
I mean, but
it's
no,
an
there's a
odd
lot of
name.
Swedes and stuff in Ohio. You'd be surprised.
Well, he was a very
There really
prominent
is.
politician and lawyer in Ohio during this time. Post-Civil War, cases were booming. He was
Part of
from
Ohio.
Lebanon.
Oh, I know where that's at.
Yep. All right. Anyway, no. Okay. So anyway, so he was being a defense attorney for a man on trial for murder.
Oh my God, I know which one you're doing.
Yes, I know. It's a very famous case.
Yeah.
He was actually manipulating the firearm that was supposedly the murder weapon
That's Ohio?
while he
Okay.
was actually trying to demonstrate how this firearm could not actually have gone off in the manner in which the prosecution was saying. He shoots himself in the gut. He actually does, in fact, win this case
What?
based on this evidence because the jury
What?
did agree that yes, it was impossible for the man to have
But he
shot.
just did it.
That was the thing, was that he was showing how the gun could not have gone off according to
But he did it.
how the prosecution was saying it was going off. And so by demonstrating this,
Oh, so he proved it for the defense.
yes.
Ah.
And so he actually proved that
So
yes,
he won.
the gun would not have
He
gone
died
off.
knowing that at least he won his case.
The gun would not have gone off in the
There you
way
go,
that the
that's
prosecution
dedication.
in the way the prosecution had said it would go
That is
off.
dedication.
It
right
still
there.
shot him in the gut, and
No,
he
it's
still.
loaded. You gonna have a loaded gun?
See, that's the issue, is that he
What?
did not believe that the gun was loaded. It in fact had been
Place
loaded.
one in the chamber. Everybody knows that.
I mean, good lord,
Come
this
on.
is just basic gun safety. Anyway,
Everybody
apparently,
knows that. And back then, you would think.
Yeah.
Back then, they probably carried guns on them everywhere. What year was it?
1871.
Definitely carried guns on them. So he should know better.
Here's the kicker to this case. You might have heard that part, but did you know that Mr. Sir Thomas Gingham, or not Gingham, excuse me, that is a tablecloth, excuse me, Gehan, excuse me, was acquitted and released from custody only to be shot to death 4 years later.
4 years. That's a long time.
I think he's still shot to death.
I mean, if he like
Yeah,
walked,
a whole other
if he walked
thing.
out the courthouse and then was shot, that would be funny.
So clearly this man
like
was.
4 years later. That's like anybody in the 1800s. That's
Well, clearly this man.
I mean-
Clearly this man was like.
he was probably guilty as
Was
sin,
guilty.
too.
He was a criminal. Clearly.
Yeah.
He got into another bar fight.
Okay, so he
and-
squandered he let his lawyer's death go to waste.
I mean,
What an asshole.
the irony is dripping off of this. But yeah,
What
he
an
was
asshole.
killed another 4 years later in another
Yeah.
bar fight where, yeah, I mean,
Of course.
that's. But yeah, that
What
is.
is it with these lawyers? Man, it's lawyer turn? Sure. My turn. Okay. This one's a really short one. And I'm going to talk about the case of Monica Myers.
Okay.
Monica Myers was the mayor of a very small town in Maryland called Betterton, the Lorax. What's
Maryland,
the name of that town that they is in the Lorax?
Sneedville.
Sneedville. Nothing like that. But Betterton. It sounds like Betterton should be in a Disney cartoon.
It seems like there was like a.
Betterton.
Wasn't there like a movie that was like.
It had to be. No, that's Pleasantville.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah,
where the kids
Pleasantville.
went from black and white.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But she was the mayor of Betterton. So part of her mayoral duties, the 70-year-old, she was 70. The 70-year-old
Ain't nobody gonna keep her down. Come on.
Oh, something keeps her down. The 70-year-old voluntarily carried out the chlorine and sediment tests of the sewage tanks at the local treatment plant.
Gross.
The early morning of Thursday, March 20th, 1980,
That's Thursday.
the town engineer arrived at the facility and discovered the body of Mrs. Myers floating face down in the 15-foot deep aeration tank.
Oops.
Definitely poops. Lots of poops.
Oops.
The town's chief deputy says that it appeared she was up on the catwalk over the top of the tank performing her test when she slipped and fell into the giant vat of human waste.
What was she trying to show? Was she on the catwalk showing how sexy she was?
Oh my god.
Remember that
too
song?
Sexy for her shirt.
I mean,
Right
Said
Said Fred. Yes, I remember that song.
How many people out there are gonna remember that?
I don't know.
Maybe I should edit that out.
No, keep that in.
Okay, come on.
Right Said Fred. Come on. I'm too sexy for Milan. New York and Japan.
I don't
Okay.
think you know this song.
I will fight you. Right here. On camera.
But do you know Cantaloupe?
You know what? He likes to battle me in music, and it
Jump,
never
boogie,
works.
boogie, jam,
It
boogie,
never
boogie,
works.
jam, slam,
Okay,
boogie,
can I
boogie.
finish? Jeez, you're like a child.
Pounce, pounce, dance as we like scene.
Okay, can I please finish?
Sweet sugar pop, sugar pop, try.
It's like a child. Like my fifth child.
Did sweet beat drums?
He's my fifth child. Can I continue? Please? Are you gonna say anything else? Are you done? Are you done?
Flip
Okay. Okay, look. Apparently, he was quoted, the chief deputy was quoted as saying, quote, "It's just like putty. She didn't have a chance to get out. It's like quicksand." In human poo.
Gross.
Human poo.
Okay, that's.
Okay,
that's-
trivia.
Oh,
Trivia question.
sorry.
Trivia question. Which
Gross.
of these acts, known as the Mariko Aoki phenomenon,
The
gives
what?
certain people Mariko Aoki
I have not.
phenomenon
I don't know about it.
gives certain people the sudden urge to poop? A. Drinking a cup of coffee. Drinking a cup of coffee. B. Eating refried beans. C. Smelling books in a bookstore. Or D. Pulling someone's finger.
Okay, well, coffee is a natural laxative.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna have to go with the oddball thing. That smelling books in a bookstore. That's a very Japanese thing. Is probably the correct answer.
That is correct.
Dude, I'm so
That is
good at
correct.
trivia.
Supposedly, the scent of a book's pages acts like a laxative to certain people. But this, however, has not been scientifically proven.
No,
Yeah,
that's
of course.
That's so.
Of course.
That's,
I love books, and I personally love the smell of a
It's
book's
so
pages.
pseudoscientific,
It definitely doesn't
like-
make me want to poop.
Yeah.
So,
Store from Anniston, Alabama.
Alabama. We love Alabama down here.
Arkansas.
Go Roll Tide.
Shh.
Uh-uh.
No.
I have a friend named Crimson who literally is named after the Roll Tide.
Oh, I know, and I had a friend named Georgia
Yep.
who was named after University of Georgia. Down in the South, we take football very seriously.
Yeah.
At any rate, moving on. This happened in 1995, and it was a Mr. Joe Buddy Kane.
Yep, that's a Georgia name or Alabama
How's
name.
the Alabama name?
name.
All right, he's from Alabama, Alabama. He's from
Oh,
down
he's from the
south
swampland.
Alabama.
He's from the swampland. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was 35 years old, and this poor man, he got drunk one night with his friend.
Shot his dick off.
Shoot. Although, that, honestly though,
Close.
I have a personal
Oh
story.
God, we don't have time for that. No
I
one's
have
got
a
time for
personal
that.
story that I
No
would
one's
like
got
to
time for
tell.
that. Continue, buddy. Swampland.
About
Nope.
a bar fighting mulligans. Anyway,
Oh, God.
moving on. So, so Mr. Kane was bitten to death by a rattlesnake that he and his friend decided to juggle, literally toss
Juggle?
back and forth to each other
What?
while they were
Alive?
drunk, as it was alive, tossing it back and forth until
Were they drinking moonshine? Probably. What year was this?
1995. I found this
Holy
actually
shit.
in the death records of Alabama.
Oh my God,
On
that wasn't that long ago.
Alabama.com.
It wasn't that long. Oh my God, it was on their website.
It's on their website, yeah, as odd
Is that
deaths
like
of
supposed
the
to advertise for tourism?
odd deaths of the state. Yeah, when we were looking up stuff, I found this. I'm
It's
like,
their kid.
so-
Why you shouldn't breed with your sister?
I mean, that's not confirmed. Anyway, so
Just kidding. That's West Virginia.
My wrestling coach is from West Virginia.
Yeah.
I visited his family. They were
Look,
very nice.
Ohioans don't get along with West Virginians.
We went and rafted.
We make fun of them.
We went and rafted the Golly River. It's a lot of fun.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not in
The Golly
United
Dam?
States. It's not
The
in
Golly
United
River.
States.
A lot of fun. Almost drowned as hell of
Spoiled,
rock.
not spoiled. Spoiled, not spoiled.
I'm not spoiled. How's that being spoiled?
Spoiled. Been out of the country, never been out of the country. Ohio River. Golly River.
It's a lot of fun.
No. Continue. Tossing a rattlesnake.
No, literally, that's it. That is as
And
simple
then
as
what?
the
It bit him and he died?
It bit him and he died.
And then he's like, oh, I'll be fine.
I mean, no mention of this. Apparently, the snake was
What did it bite
hired-
him on? How did it bite him? On what part of the body?
Presumably, it bit
His
him
dick?
in the place where it killed him. I mean,
No, it doesn't say where because that matters.
No, it doesn't
That
matter.
matters. Like if it bites you in an extremity, then it'll take longer to get to your heart. So that
yeah,
matters.
but the man was obviously drunk, so the blood flow. I mean,
When his buddy didn't suck it out,
that doesn't work.
does that work?
No, it doesn't work. That's not how.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's actually.
But it
very
works in
good.
the movies.
Yeah, a lot of things work in the movies that don't really.
That's true.
Yeah, no.
All the things.
How fast can we get that DNA test done? Oh, we'll be ready this afternoon.
Tomorrow.
Be ready this afternoon. All right, we gotta go get that criminal.
I know, like a whole murder case is shut down in like an hour and a half.
We need to get that DNA.
Tom Cruise can do amazing stunts. Although he does do
No, I was
some
gonna
stunts.
say like Tom Cruise
He does
actually
do
is.
some stunts.
He's got like that.
He's getting old though. He's
got that-
gonna have to get a stunt double.
No, he's got that like psycho alien energy that like.
That's true.
Makes
No, he has
him,
a
like,
psycho Scientologist energy.
well, that's the same different, man.
Woo!
We all know about those Scientologists. Thank you, King or Queens lady.
Oh, Leah Remini. I love Leah Remini. She's awesome. She's so funny. She's so funny. I love her. I love her.
I caught her on Joe Rogan.
I love her.
They had a good conversation.
Like,
I
what was that T-shirt that
I
I talked
actually
about
have a
that I
lot
wanted to
better
get? That said that I had it was a Leah Remini T-shirt that said something about Scientology, and I always wanted to get it.
I actually have a much better
It was like
opinion of her after listening to
something
her
about
speak on
cults,
Joe Rogan.
like don't be culty or something. That was it. Don't be culty.
Oh,
and it was a Leah Remini shirt that said don't be culty. I was like, oh my god, I want it. I want the Leah Remini shirt that says don't be culty.
So we're moving on to things that didn't make the big list. We're just
We
gonna
each
read off.
we each have an honorable mention.
Okay.
It's gonna be really quick. Okay, and my honorable mention actually took place in Buenos Aires, not in the United States, but apparently in Caballito, Buenos Aires, a poodle named Kachi, which is funny because for some reason my 4-year-old son decided to name his favorite stuffed animal Kachi. I don't know where he got this. It wasn't like
It must be from a YouTube video.
I don't know, but his favorite bear is named Kachi. But I think he spells this with a K. Kachi.
Doesn't matter. Moving on.
Kachi, poodle named Kachi. Listen to this shit. Fell from a 13th floor window and landed on 75-year-old Marta Espina. Both Marta and Kachi died.
Oh.
Not done yet. 46-year-old Edith Sola had come outside to see what was going on and was fatally hit by a bus. An unidentified man who witnessed Edith's death then had a heart attack and died on the way to the hospital. 4. That's 4. 4 deaths from one incident. The poodle, the lady it landed on, because it fell out the window, or maybe it was thrown out the window. I'm tired of this dog. Psh. Throws it out the window.
Ay, Dios mío,
lands on a woman. Some other lady comes to see what's happening outside of her building, gets hit by a bus, and then a guy who witnessed this lady getting hit by a bus dies of a heart attack. That's a lot.
All right. Well, speaking of super special, I have one. Jose Luis Ochoa, 35, was stabbed to death by his own cock in a cockfight in Southern California.
The
Apparently,
language.
he had indeed.
You mean a rooster?
No, it was a cockfight.
Rooster.
It's a cock.
It's a rooster.
It's a cock.
Rooster. Quit saying that word, could you please?
So he apparently had taped knives onto this animal's
Spurs.
feet.
Spurs.
Knives.
Spurs.
And the bird attacked him after he
Yeah,
accomplished
that's
it.
what he gets.
It kind of is sort of.
That is what he
That
gets.
is kind of a lesson
That's
learned.
messed
isn't it?
up. What's that NFL player that had the dogs fighting?
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick. Yeah. I mean, that's just wrong. Don't harm animals. Like whoever threw that poodle out the window, that was bad. Don't do that. That's mean.
He was teaching him how to fly.
Dogs
That's a.
all go to heaven.
No, that's no. I was quoting VH1, which was Weird Al Yankovic.
Okay, nerd. We're done. I get one, you get one.
But
That's how it works. No,
I have many
no,
more.
we'll do a part 2. If you guys want us to do a part 2, then let us know.
I have
We'll do
other-
a part 2. We'll do a part 2. Stop.
I can insert the words, the
I
dirty
can
words
insert
that are
things,
puns into other things as well.
Okay, stop. You need to stop. Okay, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to do his honorable mention because we each get one. Okay, that's not fair. I am, however, going to... No, you're not. No.
I have a question.
Put your hand down. What? Is this a school? What?
Maybe I don't have a question. Move on.
Ugh. Okay, so I'm now going to talk about, just briefly, I'm going to list 10 bizarre causes of death that are more common than you think. Very quickly.
Okay.
Very quickly.
All
Number
right.
1, icicles. Icicles. In 2010, falling icicles resulted in 150 injuries and 5 deaths in Russia. Number 2,
Moving on.
coconuts. Falling coconuts kill around 150 people a year.
Now that I did know.
You didn't know that? About coconuts?
Yeah.
Okay. How about number 3, vending machines. Toppling vending machines kill around 13 people per year.
I can see that.
So don't try to wiggle
If it
stuff
eats your
out.
money, it's
Don't shake
okay.
it. Don't
It's-
shake it.
it's
It can
only
fall on
$1.
you. It's super heavy. Okay. Okay. Hot dogs. Obviously, this choking hazard is responsible for 17% of food-related asphyxiations in the U.S. every year. Everybody knows. Look, I have to tell him all the time. Popcorn, hot dogs, and grapes. The 3 things that kids will choke on and die. Swear to God.
I'm not sitting in
Swear to God.
the Coney
No,
Island
look.
contest.
He gives them like just shoves popcorn down their throat. Seriously, and the baby's like,
No, he's not.
yes, he is all the time. We have 2 kids together, by the way. We have 2
Moving
kids
on.
together. Okay, he tries to kill them on a daily basis.
It's because it costs too much.
Number 5, champagne corks. Zip it.
No.
Zip it.
I still have issues with
Champagne
this.
corks.
No.
Around 24 people die every year as a result of popping champagne corks.
Okay. I could not find anything to refute this, but I know for a fact because I did a little bit of back of the napkin math.
What is
There
it?
is no way there's got to be something else going on with that. But I couldn't
said
find.
as a result of popping champagne corks. It doesn't. That means other things can lead to other things.
I was going to say like it's got to be
Okay.
like heart
Quit
attacks
nitpicking
or
apart
like
my-
they're drunk and they fell over. But a champagne cork does not have enough oomph behind it.
He is a fun Nazi. He's a fun Nazi. So
Let's test this out on you right now.
I will poke you in the eye with my pen. I will stab you to death in the eye with my pen right now.
That is not
I know
the
for
same.
a fact that that's happened
That is not the same thing.
at all.
Moving on.
I will if you keep talking.
Okay.
Okay, number 6, hippos. Hippos are vicious.
They are.
Hippos are
They are the secret
mean.
meanies. They are the
They are
secret
responsible.
meanies.
Listen, they are responsible for around 2,900 deaths across Africa every year.
Yeah, because they come up from under the water, and people don't.
And they're
like,
mean.
Well, yeah, no, they're
fucking
very
mean.
territorial. Like people don't realize. Like
And they got giant mouths. They
Koala
have giant
bears,
mouths.
panda bears, hippos are all mean, nasty. Dolphins rape people. I hate dolphins with a passion.
Dolphins
I hate
are
the fact that
Dolphins are horrible.
honestly tuna tasted better when we allowed dolphin meat.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on.
I bet panda steaks
I
taste awesome.
support tuna. I support dolphin-free tuna. Okay.
I bet panda
Holy
steaks taste
shit.
awesome.
You're fired. He's fired.
They
He's
eat grass all
fired.
day.
That's
They
horrible.
sit
Oh my
around
God.
on
They
their
eat bamboo. Okay.
yeah grass.
Bamboo.
They sit around
Bamboo.
of their own free volition. They
Can I
sit around and
continue?
do nothing all day long.
Can I continue?
I bet they have great
Can I
steaks.
continue?
What?
Can I continue?
You don't even have to force them.
Can I
like,
continue?
even cows move. How useless of an
Speaking
animal.
of which, number 7 is cows. Cows claim about 20 lives a year.
How?
Didn't say.
Are these like the people that don't make it into 4-H?
I mean, listen here. Okay, I'll have you know that cows are heavy and stupid. Okay, my cow is my friend, but other cows might not be so inclined. And when I'm sure cows, they include bulls in there. Bulls are mean. They'll attack you. They'll run. They have big horns. They will murder you right in the face if you don't leave them alone.
Well, everyone
cows,
from Pamplona knows that.
Stop talking. Those are bulls. That's different. Those are like different breed of bulls. We're talking about cows from like Wisconsin or some shit. Ohio.
That's where the cheese comes from.
Dairy cows, yes. Okay, number 8, left-handers using right-handed products.
No, I don't believe that.
Yes. Oh, I believe it. Around 2,500 left-handed people die every year from using products intended for right-handed people. I totally believe that.
I don't believe that.
I believe that. I believe that because think about it. There's so few products that are made for left-handers, and if think about it, then think about how what you would have to do. Are you ambidextrous? Can you do shit with your left hand? Okay, well imagine having to do that with everything because that's how left-handers feel. Just saying. That's possible. I totally think it's possible. I do. Scissors. All the scissors are made for right-handed people. Yes, they are. It's hard to find left-handed people's scissors.
Fisker sells them.
I didn't know that, me as a sewer.
No, you do. And knowing is half the battle.
Dude, that was sarcasm. Of course I know Fisker. I'm a sewer. You're getting on my damn nerves. We're gonna wrap this up.
Now you're being mean.
Okay, number 9 is beds. Beds kill people. Beds.
Yeah.
Approximately 20 people die from falling out of bed every year in Great Britain. So those Brits,
Great Britain.
those Brits, they must have high beds or hard floors. I mean, I can see it. I've heard of old people falling out of bed and breaking something.
Yeah, but this is.
I mean, plus, what if there's old people sleeping in bunk beds? What if they fall out of the top bunk? What if they fall? I mean, it didn't say old people, any people. What if kids fall out of bunk beds?
That is true. They're not. Are they counting hostels and people
They're
being
counting
idiots?
everywhere, so that's actually not
I
too
saw that
bad.
movie.
20 people.
I saw that movie. People
falling out
died
of
in bed in
20
that movie.
people. No, they died being strung up by their feet. Anyways, and number 10, the final one is lightning strikes. The most lethal killer on this list, being struck by lightning results in 24,000 deaths every year across the globe.
I actually know a person who was struck by lightning.
24,000 people die.
She was struck by lightning multiple times.
That's unfortunate.
She lost her hearing.
I mean, she's lucky she didn't die.
She lost her hearing.
Deaths.
And then she got it back after she got struck by lightning again. So.
I mean, you know. So anyways, that was some cases that we had. If you guys want to see number 2, we can do number 2 because we have plenty more.
Yeah, we did. We
actually cut some off our list to cut this video down.
We way over researched this.
Yeah.
I think. Even if you can't tell, like there's actually a lot of.
There's a lot more. Yeah, there's tons. There's tons. So my next case that I'm gonna do, it might change. It might change. I'll let you know that. But I think I'm gonna do my next case on Tara Baker, who was a UGA student. She was in law school. I think UGA law school. I might be wrong on that. She this was a while ago. This is like 10 or 15 at least years ago. It's a pretty famous case, actually. It's in the news a lot still. So she was a UGA student, which is in Athens, Georgia. So that probably will be the case I do next. It might change. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Back to the end of, you know, somber and trying to get murder solved. So,
well, I mean,
you know,
as long as we keep, you know, a serious face when it's appropriate to do so.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, trying to get stuff solved. So, thank you for watching my channel. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe. Please, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And my name is Jen Marie.
I'm Chris.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.
Bye.
If any...
When was penicillin invented? 1928.
1928. That doesn't sound correct at all.
Oh, yeah.
So Mariko Aoki was the person who came up with this idea.
Have you ever been invited into a secret society?
No. Yeah, 4-H.
That's not really a secret society.
It is up north.
I mean, like...
You have to be invited and voted in.
Like, do the cows vote? Like...
How rude. Oh, gross. No. No, you don't get one. You don't get two.
Why not?
Because you said the word cock a lot. One too many times.
It may have been one too many times.
Yes, it was. Nope. Nope.